Hello everyone, how's it going? It's Shabir from Velo City and welcome back. Why is chat not working? Hold on, give me a second. There we go. There it is. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. It did go very well. I've got new Invisaligns on as well. So, dentist is very happy with my progress. But anyways, hello everyone. Thank you. By the way, Zekro, your message yesterday, or your message was so funny, bro. Hold on. Before we start, I actually want to read. I was laughing so much, man, because, what was it? No, it was in the Touhou one, right? Zekron was like, take all the time you need with a dentist, we can wait, don't eat sweets too late into the night. Bro, as I was reading the message, I was stuffing my face with popcorn. Yeah, but it's alright, my dentist is happy. Alright, welcome. Theodore, hello. Zekron, hello. Krim, hello. Rockbella, hello. And Go Submit, hello. How's it going? Oh! And there it is! Guys! Double spoiler on the menu, baby. Guys, it looks like double spoiler. Everyone, you're all right with double spoiler next Wednesday, yeah? So no Touhou watch party next Wednesday. Double spoiler on Wednesday instead. All right. Look at that. Lovely. And as you can see as well, the remake is getting there too, man. But welcome, Duckless. Welcome, Krim. Welcome, Duke. Welcome, Dash. Jackson. How's it going, Kim? Hello. Well. Like, literally me yesterday, man. All right, guys, excited for today. We're actually going to be finishing off Cola. We're going to be finishing off Curiosities of Lotus Asia today. Krim, thank you so much for that as well, man. For literally solo requesting and funding all of Cola. It's been such a blast to read from Rinoski's perspective, bro. It's been amazing. So we're going to be finishing that off today. And then, of course, we have... I don't think we actually have any clips today. So if we don't, we'll go right on over to Twitch for the songs. We have a lot of songs, and I'm looking forward to that. And afterwards, if you guys are interested in HoloLive, we actually will be watching day 1 of Serendipity today as well. And that will be right after the music section of Touhou. So very, very fun. But yes, Touhou related, though. Next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. I shouldn't have another appointment or anything like... Yeah, but I had to get my appointment at 2 p.m. today, which means I had to reschedule the stream a bit. But yeah, no, next week, we should be fine. 2 p.m. Should be all right. But yeah. Hello, Space Spirit. How's it going? Welcome. Oh, Kim, take it easy, man. Take care of yourself, bro. All right. Yes, correct, Zekrom. Correct. All right, let me just make sure I've made my announcements and everything. All right, all good. Lovely. All right, okay. Yes, Duke, we probably won't be watching that. Do not want to risk getting bonked by any music. So we won't be watching that. We'll probably watch... if it gets requested on Monday, I'll watch it then. But, yeah, remember, it's a timer watch along. We're not going to be watching any... We're not going to be listening to any music, though. This is for HoloLive Serendipity, by the way. So, yeah. No worry. Dash, never apologize for that, man. But I appreciate all of your requests and even you just being here. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, man. Enjoy. All right, but yes. Oh, Kim. Oh, damn. Sorry to hear that, man. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. Guys, let's get started with this, man. Oh, hold on. Super Cream, do I have music? Give me a second. Let me just check. Oh, lovely. We'll just use the same one. I forgot to let you know where I stopped though. So please, yes. Lovely. It's not taking us all the way back to the beginning. Perfect. All right. I haven't forgotten the other thing I promised last week. This Saturday we'll learn how to cat. Oh shoot! All right. I look forward to that. Okay, I look forward to it, man. Right, guys, shall we get started with Curiosities of Lotus Asia? Let's do it, baby. All right. The Charming Moon, this one. This is, hold on, let me just check the chapter number. I believe this is going to be chapter 24. All right. The scattered moon drops. Falling, dancing cherry blossoms are coloring and garnishing. When you think of spring, you think of cherry blossoms and then flower viewing parties. Spring in Tokyo is a busy time, but unfortunately, the day's event had been put on hold due to rain. In order to relieve the boredom a bit, Rinoski talks about the relationship between the calendar and the moon. And be sure to check out the comic To Sangetsuse, Eastern and Little Nature Deity. Karakawa Shota announcer. Alright, Charming Moon. Rapidly falling cherry blossom petals covered the land in white, replacing the snow that just melted. Though I had not checked the calendar in a while, I could surmise a guess just by looking outside that either April was about to end or May had already started. Almost on time. Couple of months, but yeah. Let's see. I thought the cherry. Oh, really? Yeah, bro. YouTube's always trying something else, man. I thought the cherry blossom bloomed a little late this year, but a few days difference is no cause for alarm. It just seemed to me that there were a few warmer days this winter. Cherry blossom buds only appear on warmer days, for on colder days the temperature makes them close up tight. There were fewer warmer days and that will delay when the blossoms bloom. Incidentally, in the few records left behind after Gensokyo's formation, it is written that in Gensokyo, over 100 years ago, the beginning of March would be determined by the blooming of cherry blossoms, as it presently indicates a more suitable time frame around the end of April or the beginning of May. When you consider that March comes much earlier. Right. Okay. Or the beginning of May. No, right, sure. So when compared to the winter temperatures from back then and the cherry blossom blooming again almost 2 months later, they're much likely warmer than it is now. But of course, that's not the case at all. Winter always has been and always will be cold. There is another reason for the cherry blossom signaling the beginning of March. Now, if it were me, I'd shoot down every last petal. What? If it were me, I'd dodge them all. But they fall so slow. That's nothing special. What are you talking about? Slow bullets are harder to avoid than fast ones. For some reason, Rainbow and Marisol were having a bitter, pointless argument, but I couldn't hold it against them. They had planned on having a flower viewing party today, but it was cancelled. And to make matters worse, the blossoms had already completely fallen off, and already bits of green could be seen on the trees. Today might have been their last chance. With their wish of this send-off party to their precious petals dashed by the heartless rain, they now wait, bored inside the shop. They were so excited for their party, but now they were likely worried if the rain would strip the remaining petals from the trees. And besides, the petals are already so limp. You can't be proud of such limp things as petals. And then I'll get the very first prize, even if it's given for the person who is proud of shooting petals. Alright, let me just zoom in a bit. Where the heck did I go? There we go. Alright. Hey, yo, bonk. Alright, you two, I think that's enough of this petty argument. After the cherry blossoms fall, you know what that means. You know that means summer is right around the corner. It's simply that this year it won't be spring wind that takes them, but the spring rain. You shouldn't be spending endless hours bickering because of your current situation. Why don't you try thinking ahead a little more? Petty? How rude. How rude. What we're doing is discussing new ways of interacting with the cherry blossoms. Isn't that thinking ahead? We're so far ahead, we're practically in the future. Although they say far ahead, their future is a lot more like recent. It's a lot more recent, like about what they should do today. We're so forward thinking, we never reflect on the past. But a little while earlier, Yukari said something like, it's a good thing the cherry blossoms in Gensokyo bloomed late this year. So what does that mean? Winter in the outside world suddenly became much shorter, so the cherry blossom bloomed in the middle of March, she said. Raymond told me in an unusually lazy tone of voice, which I took for her mimicking Yukari. Although it was a poor imitation. If you take too many liberties in your exaggeration, no one will know who you're supposed to be. I see. I see. So she mentioned something about the short winter in the outside world. Then she got to see both the outside world's blossoms and Gensokyo's evening blossom. She said, I get to enjoy seeing the cherry blossoms twice this year. I don't know why she only saw Gensokyo's cherry blossom in the evening, but even if the timing is different in the blooming of the trees in the outside world in Gensokyo, it should be no inconvenience to the yokai here. So that means the cherry blossom in the outside world were at full bloom in March. It seemed they had an exceptionally warm winter, but no matter, since you two seem bored, let me tell you about something strange. How is winter in Japan, by the way? In general, I guess, or more recent times. I took a glance at the window as I said this. The rain had lessened into a light drizzle, but the outside of the window was clearly wet. I wondered if the rain would wash away the petals stuck to the window until the end of my story. Oh, do not underestimate Krim. Do not underestimate Krim. What's this something strange? Just a small detail, while the cherry blossoms blooming in March in the outside world is indeed early, a long time ago the cherry tree blossomed in March as well, both in the outside world and Gensokyo. Blossomed in March? Isn't that more than a month early? We'd want to have a party when it's so cold out. No, I didn't mean that it actually was March, simply that they blossomed in March. What's that, a Zen riddle? It's the old calendar. There are almost no traces of it nowadays, but over 100 years ago they used the lunisolar calendar. March in the old calendar would be around the end of April in the modern one. I was just saying that if you use the old calendar, the cherry blossoms would bloom in March. The old calendar. That. Hey, I was starting to wonder about this myself, but what is the old calendar and why did they change it for the new one? Maybe an IRL history lesson here? I prepared some salted tea with flowing cherry blossom petals for them. I poured the hot water slowly, and even the floating blooms in the cup were also imbibed. While we can't enjoy relaxing under the trees today, there are still ways to enjoy the view of blossoms. And I thought you'd prepare some beautiful tea for us, Mr. Renosuke. So what's this old calendar business about? And why was it necessary to change to the new one? The old calendar, or to be specific, the lunisolar calendar, is based on the waxing and waning of the moon. One cycle, the time between the new moons taking 29 to 30 days, is counted as a month, and then 12 of these months make a year. So maybe that's why the word month comes from the word moon. Oh my god. Crazy. Precisely, when the change was made to the new calendar, that word remained unchanged. However, the amount of time is different. So, you know what's so fascinating to me, right? Is how, okay, a bit of a yap here. If any historians or general knowledge havers can let me know. So, month being derived from the word moon, okay? That's across languages, right? Like we have that month and moon in whatever language that started off in. What was it? Was it Latin? I don't even know. Anyways, but Japanese also had it with like getsu and the kanji for moon being the same for ski being the same as month, right? So Chinese writing as well, right? So that's crazy. So that means all of these civilizations, all of these like, you know, like community civilizations, they derived a calendar on their own accords, if that makes sense. Is that correct? Is that how it works? It's pretty mad though, isn't it? Like, I can't imagine, I mean, I'm pretty sure, well, I might be wrong, but what I'm trying to say is I'm pretty sure civilizations had derived the calendar, or the lunisolar calendar anyway, before actually meeting. Correct? I don't know. I'm just like conjecturing. I don't know about this, but it is pretty mad though, isn't it? But yeah, the three great civilizations all had their own calendars, which had similarities thanks to trade. But there was. I mean, yeah. I mean, even back in the day, right? Like, obviously, you still had trade routes and shipping and all of that kind of stuff, shipping lanes and everything. So yeah, obviously Silk Road and things. Well, there you go, exactly. Portuguese moon, lua, month. Oh, okay, no, so that's a bit different. But I just know that in Asia, obviously, like with China, the kanji for, well, not the kanji, but you know, the writing system is derived, it has it as well, right? And obviously us in the Western side, we have it too. So yeah, pretty crazy. Anyway, I would love to learn the history bit. I know it's just a Google away, but yeah, I would love to learn more about it. But yeah. Let's see. Maybe Zun will explain some of it. When the change was made to a new calendar, that word remained unchanged. However, the amount of time is different. As a month now is around 30 or 31 days. It's about 1 day more than the old month. So that means a year in the old calendar is roughly 10 days shorter than a year in the new calendar. Isn't 10 days out of a year? That doesn't sound too bad to me. No. It is bad. Being short by even 10 days is very troublesome. After 10 years, it starts snowing in spring. After another 10 years, winter and summer will have completely changed places. So it'll be a warm winter, huh? Interesting. Wouldn't it be more hot than warm? And just like that, the season and months will continually shift. So they add a 13th month every 3 years. What? So that's why I see that word come up every now and then in the older books. Right. Marisa seems to be waiting for a perfect time to drink her tea. I'm not sure what her idea of perfect timing is though. As for Reimu, she already had started on hers. Unfortunately, that is not the case. In years where there had been a 13th month, they would never call the 13th month. Really? Zekrom, I freaking love this kind of stuff, man. So yeah, absolutely. The reason is because when the seasons would become too out of place, it would simply add that extra month to the end of the current month. Like when March would start to feel too much like February, both the real March and the extra month would be both called March. What calendar are we talking about here? It's confusing as hell. How does that make any sense? What a ridiculous system. Of course, they had some manner to clearly calculate when to add this extra month. But after a while, they're able to rely on the senses. Sense is the underlying aspect in all calculations. Doesn't having two of the same month make things complicated? Given it some kind of name, make more sense. Name would make more sense. The second extra month was probably distinguished by the name intercalary month. For example, the second March would be called intercalary March. The reason why they changed to the new calendar was that even in the intercalary month, the seasons would rarely match up and become too inconvenient. The lunisolar calendar was abandoned, and the new solar calendar became more right. The old calendar was so complicated. I wonder if it wasn't humans came up with it, but yokai? Why didn't they use the calendar we have now from the very start? Well, the lunisolar calendar is better suited for yokai. You'd immediately know on what dates of new and full moons occur, but as human technology advanced, the sun became the more dominant element over the moon. But aren't there quite a few yokai here in Gensokyo? Do we really need to use a new calendar here? Yeah, this is fascinating, man. I was there. I remember that. Crazy. The reason why we use a new one here too is because it's the one they use in the outside world. That's it. We're already isolated enough, but using a different calendar would make matters worse. Not as if the lunisolar calendar was created in Tokyo. I guess you're right. Now that I think about it, it would be strange if the yokai suddenly decided to stop going by the moon and started using the sun instead. Indeed, they never wanted to have the change forced upon them. I've heard that there are still some who have not yet adapted. In fact, there is a unique lunisolar calendar made by the yokai of Gensokyo. The two of them, their mood improved having forgotten their quarrel, listened intently to my story. The lunisolar calendar of yokai, the yokai lunisolar calendar, doesn't just go by the waxing and waning of the moon, but it defines 1 month from the cycle of the color of the moonlight and of the changes of its perimeter. It is said that it is much easier to tell when natural phenomena will occur than using the calendars the humans devised. Not only seasons, but disasters like earthquake, volcanic eruptions, and when the bamboo flowers will bloom. Many kinds of cycles are included in this calendar. Just by knowing the date, you can also know how much longer it will be until the bamboo flowers bloom. Yeah, bro, I actually watched it again recently. It was so funny, man. Like, it's so outlandish. It's quite funny. Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Soup? No worries, man. Enjoy. We'll see you in the music section. Alright. That's pretty cool. The calendar's got all that stuff. Maybe we humans should use it too. Sounds a lot more useful, that's for sure. However, there's a big problem with the humans using that calendar. The length of the day is not as long as ours. In fact, the contour of day doesn't even exist. The smallest unit of measurement is a month. If we were to compare it to the current day, the new moon would be like midnight and the full moon would be like noon. Oh, wow. Considerably long, taking 60 of our years for one of their calendar cycles. What? That may be fine with being such long lifespans as yokai, but for much shorter lived humans, that seems extremely inconvenient to me. So since they hate the sun, they went with the moon. Guess they really do depend on it that much. But I ain't never heard any yokai using that calendar. Yeah. No, I've seen it as well. Bro, it's Roland Emmerich, man. The guy who made flipping Independence Day, bro. How the Mighty Have Fallen. Nah, I'm kidding. It was a fun popcorn movie. I've seen it. I've seen Dark. Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of which, I actually want to rewatch Independence Day. Like, one of my favorite 90s movies, man. It was so freaking well done. Alright. Yeah, bro, Independence Day was a bloody class. Yeah. Wait, which one, Krim? Independence Day or Moonfall? But yeah, Independence Day was good, man. I really enjoyed that movie, bro. He also made Moonfall. He made 2012. He made Day After Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. He made a few of those like disaster flicks. All right. I like them. Yeah. Although they made it, very few actually use it. I heard that the yokai living on the mountain use it though. By the way, there's a month with the same purpose as the intercalary month in the yokai lunisolar calendar as well. However, they don't call it the intercalary month, but the more obvious 13th month. And in years with this month, the power of yokai become exceptionally stronger. Because these years, when yokai becomes strong, it seems that number 13 is considered unlucky by humans in certain areas. Okay, yo, Zekrom, I will never get tired of that movie. I'll never get tired of it. Oh, Dash, that was pretty freaky. Yeah, fair enough. I respect that. It was frightening, yeah, like, to know that, to see that happen. Never heard of that before. I know about 30 cicadas, which we learned about last week. Yes, because I told you. But you're right, I myself haven't heard much about 13 being an unlucky number around here. That's all the information I had regarding the yokai lunisolar calendar. Even if they asked me for more, it would be mere speculation. So I stood up to pour tea, thinking that serving them more cherry blossom tea would remind them of the cherry blossoms outside. I put them in a disagreeable mood yet again. I bought the usual green tea. Oh man. No, I've not seen the knockoff. You're not talking about the sequel, right? But no, I've not seen the knockoff one. No. Since I had shared the extent of my knowledge on the matter, the conversation came to a standstill when the nameless voice broke the silence with a rather simple question. By the way, Mr. Runoski, what does intercalary mean exactly? I don't think that word comes up normally in most conversations. Well, inter means in between, and calorie is, I assume, it's derived from calendar, and I don't know where it's from, but yeah, let's see. It's important not to take things for granted, but the question, even the smallest details. Humans' growth is directly related to how much knowledge one has accumulated. The better you know the past, the better you know the present, and the better you know the future. Intercalary, huh? Let me think. The meaning of character from the continent is not the genuine article, since the second march after the first one wasn't the real march. That's why it's called intercalary march. Since it's a character from the continent, they don't use I think character in the yokai lunisolar calendar. That's why it isn't used outside the context of the lunisolar calendar. But how did it become associated with it in the first place? Originally, this country had no word that expressed the meaning of the word intercalary. Right, okay, no. However, that character isn't pronounced uru in the continent. Yeah, agreed, man. Love it. The reason why it's pronounced Uru here is because of a rather slipshod reason. When it came over from the continent, there were no words in the Japanese language that could properly express it, so no one knew how to read it. Then someone noticed it looked like the character in Uruo, meaning a number of things ranging from moist to charming, so they called it Uruo as well. The Uruo march would sound like charming march. They put no other thought into it, and then since they felt that Uruo was too difficult to say, they shortened it to just Uru. As far as why it's pronounced like that, there was never any meaning in it from the start. Since this word rarely came up in conversation, that's the whole origin story. It looked like this character for Uruo, and then they shortened it to Uru because it was too hard to say. That's really lazy. Are you okay with that, Mr. Renosuke? I thought you were a lot more picky about names. Words are things that stand on their own. I have no business meddling in their origin. Besides, I rather like the sound of it. Doesn't saying charming year or charming month sound a great deal more pleasant than not the actual month? Words have as much power as you give them, man. As in, like, bro, what is Velo City? Like, what is Velo City, bro? And now, like, this has become our home, our family, our community, our livelihood, right? Crazy. Same for sponsors. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, sponsor is a pretty banging name anyway, right? But sponsor, like, there was a time when sponsor was one of many names we were considering, and now I can't imagine any other name but sponsor. The city of Velo. Hey, I like it. I mean, come on, man, y'all are Velo citizens now, you know what I'm saying? See, that's Velocity, not Velo City. It's a difference. Some kind of Velo City sponsorship. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, names, especially names, they have as much power as you give them, man. Words are things that stand on their own. Okay. Well, because the charming month, it seems unnecessary for it to be raining while the cherry blossoms are blooming as well. But look, the rain stopped. The light from the sun, which had been, wow, that's a Linkin Park lyric right there, man. Hey, the light from the sun, which had come out at some point, could be seen outside the window seeping in through the gaps in the clouds. Having given up the flower viewing party for lost, the two were now in high spirits. I was unsure how many flowers had remained to be viewed, but I had the feeling they would take any opportunity to have a party merely for the sake of it. Will you join us too, Mr. Renosuke? This might be the last time we're having a flower viewing party this year, and the cherry blossoms are so pretty when they're shining with water. I say this every time, but I don't like outdoor parties. Renosuke is me, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? We listen to your boring song. Least you can do. Oh my god, to make it up is join us. Despite their irrational request, I just happened to be in the mood to see the cherry blossom that evening. I said it would be worth seeing the flower that had not been washed away by the rain once. Imagining a beautiful world of flowers moist with rain gracefully falling under the light of the charming moon made me want to drink sake. Okay. Alright. Blessings of the Shrine. Pity Reimu. The Hakure Shrine is full of yokai. This chapter, yokai are beginning to gather at the Hakure Shrine more often, and a worried Reimu comes to talk to Renosuke about it. Amazed at the weak faith that Reimu and Marisa have in the gods, Renosuke explains the surprising connection between the gods and faith. Blessings of the Shrine. Okay. Mountains will have mountain gods and rivers will have river gods. Gods reside in everything on the earth. This book that you have in your hand or a semiconductor that you may have picked up is no exception. Ooh, fourth wall right here. But certain special gods have shrines dedicated to their worship. What's the difference between these gods and the other gods? Nothing in particular. Just a matter of a god being sufficiently popular or not. It kind of reminds me of Noragami, right? The gods that provide blessings to humans are popular. There are also gods that will spread curses when not worshipped, but by worshipping them, one can escape misfortune, so they have a popularity in a different sense. Shrines exist for such gods. A shrine's existence is thus decided by popularity, which is entirely up to humans, but for gods, it doesn't matter to them in the least. The reason for this is that God's power is determined by the amount of faith humans have in them. For example, Oinari-san and Tenjin-sama, who are very popular amongst people, have succeeded in gaining far greater power than they have than they used to have when they were referred to as Uka no Mitama no Kami or Sugawara no Michizane due to the great number of shrines built in their honor. Conversely, as for what happens when people lose faith in God, they will lose their powers, and one day nobody remembers them, they disappear from existence. God will work hard in gathering faith since their very existence is at stake. Right. Okay, Zeka, I look forward to it, man. Let me know what you cook, bro. I'm a fan of these classics, bro. I'm a fan of these classics, like Jurassic Park, like the 90s movies, bro. My jam. Yeah, okay. Why does my shrine have so many yokai? Right. They will lose their powers and no one to remember. I mean, yeah, that's just standard Japanese like deitology, if that's a word, right? Like I know that from other media as well, yeah. Why does my shrine have so many yokai? You probably need more visitors, otherwise God will have enough power to ward them off. But if there are yokai in the first place, no one will come. There's nothing that can be done about it. True, it appears to be a vicious cycle. I think the shrine maiden Reimu, who doesn't do her job and come relax here all the time, is one of the problems. In the past, the shrine didn't have so few visitors and yokai never approached it. I must say that the main cause is the current shrine maiden Reimu. I suppose it's beginning to bother her, and she said she's here to discuss ways to recollect faith. Well, even if we... Mountains of faith? Anyone? If you lose too much faith, they won't change my job exterminating yokai, so it might not be a bad thing after all. You're mistaken, Reimu. A shrine losing faith can be fatal. I guess you're right, since I wouldn't get any offer. No, it's not as simple as that. Saying that God loses faith is like saying that God loses power. If your shrine gets taken over by an evil spirit, it'll be harder to drive them out. Well, if you say so, but what should I do? You can expel the yokai from the shrine as a last resort. Why would you start with the last resort? Oh, whatever. What other options are there? One option is to rely on a new god. Give up on your current god and get a popular god to come to your shrine along with his faith. When few are aware of your god's name, which bless his blessing, is no wonder that you're losing faith like this. Oh, actually. Oh, sure. All right. Enshrine another god. Am I allowed to do that? There shouldn't be a problem. A Japanese god is known as a bunrei, meaning a divisible spirit. Even if you split one into an endless number of parts, its power won't be affected. You can use that to bring another god's power directly to your shrine. The process of gaining a bunrei is called kanjo, and it's something that goes on frequently in the outside world. A new god. That should be a nice change of pace, and it might be fun. Maybe if I get a god of sake to come, it might be easier to get faith since its blessings are so obvious. That's what you want. It might be good to get gods like Sengen-sama, otherwise called Konohana Sakuya Hime no Mikoto. She is usually a goddess of mountains. But she's one of sake as well. She's said to be a very beautiful goddess and is very popular. To make it easier to notice, you might want to change the name of your shrine to Hakure Sengen Shrine. I'm not really interested in changing the name. Even if the god you worship changes, they'll have no meaning if people don't notice it. So normally names change with such events. Regulating, hey, it's a rainy season, but it's not raining today. Since it's sunny, maybe you should stop praying for rain. I have no idea what you're talking about, Marissa, as usual. What are you talking about when it's not raining? We have a very important discussion about the shrine. About the shrine? Did anything happen to that yokai shrine of yours, Reimu? The shrine being called that yokai shrine itself is the problem. Alright, well, there are few visitors, and the only offerings they get are the leaves that the Taniki put into the box. Absolutely, man. Well said. Oh, is that it? Don't worry about it. Most of those leads are from me anyway. She's talking like Gambit. That's not she's worried about. Reimu's problem isn't foolish prank, but the fact that her shrine is losing faith because there are no visitors. You don't need the help of gods to kill yokai. So wait, what good is a shrine then? Although I find repeating myself to be tiring, I once again explained the connection between the lack of faith and gods as well as shrines. I gotcha. Yeah, that'll definitely be a pain if your shrine got taken over by some yokai. But there's a real easy way to get more people to come if you want, you know? What's that? Have a huge festival and call it like the Hakure Shrine Reitaisai. Marketing Marisa, yeah? I respect it. If you do something like that, I'm sure you get everyone who loves festivals, right? And if you still need more people, just have them every week. What the shrine is missing is something that'll pull more people to it. If you keep having dinky little parties all the time, no one's gonna bother coming all that way. Well, Marissa says it's true. Humans won't worship gods that won't benefit them. The lives of people become wealthier, then a shrine will not be needed. In that case, events like that might be needed to draw interest. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Even if I do arrange a festival, I just know that the only one that'll show will be yokai. If there are yokai around, humans won't come. Yeah, that's true. Yokai love pretty much anything where they can cause a racket. That's why we're talking about having a kanjo. Huh? Kanjo? What's that? Explain to Marissa that kanjo is the process of training a god of worship at a shrine. If you do that, what happened to the god you have now? At first, I was going to worship them at the same time. What do you mean by at first? I mean, it'll vanish naturally if it's forgotten. What? It'll vanish? The summer scenery as seen from the window began to darken. There's still plenty of time until the evening, so I guess rain is underway. A unique ability of the rainy season, it seems. The god in your shrine will vanish, but Reimu, are you okay with that? The shrine itself will vanish if I do nothing, then I guess I have no other choice. By the way, who was the god of the Hakure shrine? An evil spirit? Or maybe not? There really aren't many records left to say that. Let that say. Although we did get taken over by an evil spirit in the past. Even the gods don't try me and can't remember its name. It's not surprising that it's losing faith. I guess there's no helping it. In Gensokyo, gods exist everywhere in nature. A place like a shrine isn't necessary since one can ask for a god's favor anywhere. In Gensokyo, it is said that the only shrine is the Hakure shrine. Thus, it is a unique place and many simple... Now there's another one, right? Oh my god. Right. Oh, okay. This is a unique place and many simply referred to as the shrine. Since there are no other shrines with which to compare it, it can be easily forgotten that a god is being enshrined there. Okay. I expected the people of Gensokyo no longer see the value of shrines. Well, the future of the shrine is something for you to decide, but there's one thing I can say. The Hakure shrine plays an important role in supporting the border. Ooh, regardless of who the god is, that won't change. Well, the worst part is not knowing the blessings of the shrine. Is it even a blessing at all? I didn't feel any different after those offerings. That's because you won't be blessed by offering these. I guess we should worship a god with blessing. In that case, it might be Konohana Sakuya Hime no Mikoto then. Even if there are blessings of sake, I think the only people that would be happy about it would be the people making the sake, and there are only a handful of those. By the way, do you get blessings from the gods you worship? Doesn't that make God no different from the yokai that loiter in the shrine? Excuse me. Okay, the straw had become dark. It seemed to be raining outside. Marisa was uneasy, worried about the weather, but Reimu was thinking of nothing else but her question. You're a shrine maiden, but lack far too much knowledge. You don't even train because you dislike it. If you won't stop drinking sake all the time and don't train more often, you won't be able to stay your shrine. So I'm starting now, aren't I? Yeah, Yukari's been the Aizen of this story, man. Alright. I suppose, but I'll tell you why you get blessings when you worship divine spirits. Sure, go on. They say everything has a divine spirit within it, but strictly speaking, things without names are divine spirits themselves. These objects are then named based on one of the powers of the spirit. Now that you mention it, I think I've heard about that before. Maybe I have told you before. I think it was about the petrified bone. Anyway, the divine spirit is different from a yokai in that it has two personalities. Since yokai is simple and only have one personality, that makes them twice as different. The two personalities are the Nigi and the Ara. The Nigi is the side that's kind to humans and is the one called the blessings. What? Its personality is a blessing? Exactly. I told you, but when she does show up, bro, I told you that divine spirits are the origin of all, right? The divine spirit is the personality of an object. Thus, the emotions of an object are directly related to its power and become visible in matter. If a god of sake gained power, the sake will naturally become better. So also the Niki is further divided into two parts called the Sake and the Kushi. The Sake provides fulfillment to the soul and the Kushi provides knowledge. If I were to use the god of sake as an example, the Sake provides the fragrance and taste of the sake, while the Kushi provides the skill to make sake. Nigi, Sake, Kushi, they're all good, aren't they? Maybe I should seriously have a kanjo for Konohana no Sakehime. Well, gods other than Konohana and Sakehime have personalities that are blessings too. We mustn't forget their other personality, the Ara. Oh dear. The Ara. No, I'm kidding. The Ara is the wrath of the divine spirit. I'm actually wondering if that might have been Ara in Japanese right there. Okina is Aizen, Yukari is... oh! I like that too, actually. I do like that as well. Yeah. Is a part that manifests itself as a disaster and misfortune. Using the god of sake as an example, the sake will not only taste bad, but can turn into poison. Worse yet, you may never be able to make sake in the same place ever again. I don't like the sound of that. A lesson not to anger the gods, I guess. The gods always have those two personalities. There may be some differences, but they will always be there. Isn't a god the only one with the gentle side? Isn't there a god with only the gentle side? Divine spirit that is to say all things in Gensokyo have both a good side and a bad side, but the Ara personality isn't always bad. But it turns Sake bad, right? Well, the Ara is the true power of divine spirits. By worshipping the Ara, the worshippers will be given protection. For example, it can ward off enemies that try to interrupt the sake manufacturing process. To put simply, blessings are what comes from calming the Ara. Oh, banger. and thanking the Nigi to increase the god's power. People say that a dependable deity is one that goes around granting everyone's personal request, but I guess that's not it all. That's not it at all. What you're saying is that the truth is that a god's increase in power is connected to its blessing. If you make the gods happy, people will receive blessings. It's different from making people happy by defeating yokai. Well, then the shrine doesn't have anything to worry about then. The window showed that it was completely dark and raining outside, as it should be in this season. Reimu and Marisa decided to stay for dinner. Although it was not my intention to be talked about sake so much, we decided to drink many different types of sake today. Maybe the sake is a blessing from Lady Sengen too. And sake must be one too. The two of you have had too much to drink. To Lady Sengen, cheers. The purpose of a god isn't necessarily to hear the request by the humans who built it. All the gods need to do is listen and they gather faith. A very convenient situation. That's why people can give their puny offerings and ask of anything they like of them. These divine spirits are just another kind of yokai that enjoy the relaxing life in Gensokyo. Excuse me. Wow, okay. The night the storm clouds rolled in. What is the secret behind the name Yakumo? Okay, the yokai who manipulates Gensokyo. I said! Uehara. Yukari Yakumo, a yokai with great influence in Gensokyo, is rumored that over 1,000 years ago she created the barrier with the human world and sealed the shrine made in Gensokyo. But will the power hidden in her name finally be brought to light? Oh, a Yukari related chapter, yeah? Alright. Just as one wonders if the towering cumulonimbus cloud. Oh my goodness. Cumulonimbus. Alright. Okay, well, a combination of two different types of clouds. Alright. But open up with a pouring rain shower, they'll steal away all the day's muggy warmth. Moonlight filtered the window, obscured by rain. Reimu and Marisa had been at the store all day, but as a sudden evening shower prevented them from going home, they remained for dinner. You guys been acting odd lately. Smack. You see how like she wasn't odd to begin with, chump. Why don't you two try swallowing what's in your mouth before you start talking? Oh really? No. I mean, even then, cumulus is a cloud, and nimbus is also a cloud, right? But that's what I'm talking about. So a rain cloud is the combination of the two clouds. Is that correct? Yeah, I've been planning on eating alone tonight, so the menu is meager. I don't eat meals often in the first place. Dinner for me is really just sake with a side of pickled vegetables. A half yokai like me doesn't really need to eat much to live. It's more for pleasure. If the sake is delicious, that's enough to last me through the night. But that won't do for Reimu and Marisa. If they don't eat regularly, they'll get weak and eventually collapse due to lack of stamina. A lot of food. Oh, I see. Got you. Okay. Oh yeah, we can just Google it right now. Cumulus. Yeah, cumulus. There you go. And nimbus. Cloud. There you go. Nimbus is the rain cloud. And cumulonimbus, a combination of both. Yep. There we go. Yeah. Nice. I actually did geography in high school, and I got 100% in one of my geography exams, 150 out of 150, and that was my physical geography, and my human geography, 148 out of 50. I was very proud of that. My geography teacher loved me, bro, and I still remember his face. He was so disappointed that I was not continuing geography onto A levels, man. He was one of my favorite teachers, man. Mr. Guest, rest in peace. Loved him, man. When teachers just have that like change on your life, bro. Yeah, man. He was one of them. Bro. Yeah. Theodore. Love that, man. That's actually really fascinating. Love that, dude. Man. Alright. But that won't do it for Reimu and Marisa. They don't eat regular. Yeah, right. A lot of food high in salt content go well with sake and make good snacks. Some rice and something salty would probably perk them right back up for a while. Yukari has been acting odd. Do you mean that yokai, Yakumo Yukari? I really don't like her. I make my living by collecting things from the outside world, so I really do owe her a lot, since she keeps Gensokyo and the outside world separate. And whenever she's around, it feels like something's looking right through me and I can't think straight. That's just Yukari for you, man. Yukari has actually been helping me train lately. It's really weird. Helping you train a yokai? It's unusual for a yokai to train a yokai hunter. Seems like she's plotting something. What are you gonna do about it, Reimu? It doesn't matter if she's up to something since I've been training. Well, if you say so. No matter how you look at it, that just means you're doing exactly what Yukari wants you to do. Gensokyo is the place it is because of Yukari's ability to control borders. Her power is what separates Gensokyo from the outside world. There really aren't any yokai in Gensokyo who could stand up against her. Needless to say, a human probably wouldn't stand a chance either. Yukari Yakumo, huh? She probably chose the name Yakumo herself. I guess you have no choice but to bend over to her will. Shrine Maiden must do as she says. Dinner was finished, so we sat outside and gazed at the moon while sipping sake. The rain had wiped away all traces of the day's heat, so it was a crisp summer evening. It was the best kind of night watching the moon, but Reima and Marisa had already taken all the sitting space in front of the entrance, so I stood behind them and enjoyed my sake. Love that, man. But, I was drying some clothes at the shrine before I left. I wondered they'll be alright since we had that storm. Of course they aren't. It was raining so hard we couldn't leave. I guess so, but I'll probably have to go watch them again. By the way, Mr. Renosuke, about what we were talking about earlier, what do you mean I had to do as she says? Well, the name Yukari... Exactly, Dash, exactly. The name Yukari Yakumo, excuse me, says it all, doesn't it? I had the ability to tell what something's name is just by looking at it, so maybe I go on a little too much about names thanks to that. You can generally divide names into two categories. There are names that describe an object characteristics and names that determine its characteristics. The former are names that generally describe something's shape, color, or other external attributes, or in the case of something like tool, the utility. Most animals, plants, and natural objects are named in this fashion. The latter type of names are usually given to those whose nature hasn't yet been determined, or to those that the namer wishes to merely distinguish from other things. The names of people and the personal names yokai take on fall into this category, as well as the names of most commodities. There are names that have the most power over a thing. Since a person's name has a great effect on the sort of personality they develop, parents. Oh god, what is that? Parents normally give their children names that hold various meanings. They don't just pick names that sound pleasing to the ear. The name Yukari means violet, and violet is the outermost color in the rainbow. In fact, when a dragon flies through the sky, the pair of rainbows it leaves behind appear to be an identical set, but in fact, the outermost color of both is violet. Half-Life 3 confirmed, man. That's what it sounded like. Yukari means violet. Violet is the outermost color of the rainbow, and the dragon, when it flies, a pair of rainbows leaves a trail behind. But all jokes aside, though, I love how this is calling back to the previous chapters. Of we had the dragon discussion, we had all of this before, so all right, that's true. I've seen two rainbows. Oh, okay, all right. I actually know the answer to that. Shabir in Arabic means patience, or it's a different variation of spelling. I think it's the actual word is sabr or something like that, right? Asif, I think it means typhoon, but I'm not actually 100%. It's something to do with wind, but yeah. It's yeah, interesting stuff. Like in a combination of Arabic and Urdu or some kind of dialect or something like that. Chen is orange. Wow. Okay. See, my name means patient. That's why I'm always so late. You have to be patient. Oh man. Right. When rainbow appears, they often form in pairs. That inner rainbow that you can see at a glance, and outer rainbow that's considered to be fainter. Quite a few. A double rainbow. Oh, yeah, exactly. Double rainbow. From the bottom to the top, the colors of the inner rainbow are violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. But the outer rainbow goes from red to violet. I didn't know that. In other words, it's reversed. So if you put the two rainbows together from top to bottom, the colors progress from violet to red, and then from red back to violet. The second rainbow is the opposite way? Oh, shoot. The border between the rainbow and the sky is certainly colored violet. What does it mean? Double rainbow. Oh, what a throwback, man. Just going by that, her name obviously is a reference to borders, right? But that's just her first name. Her other name, Yakumo, if you take it literally, it refers to the kind of clouds that pile up on themselves in many layers. What an old classic, man. What do you mean if you take it literally? Well, the word Yakumo isn't used by itself very much. However, it's used quite extensively in the divine land of Izumo. In her case, it's quite likely that she's taken it from the verse Yakumo tatsu Izumo yaegaki tsumagomi ni yaegaki sukuru sono yaegaki yo. Wow, unironically, I think I would have been able to read that easier if it was in hiragana, man. Romaji is actually quite difficult for me to read now. What is that, an incantation? It's a poem that was composed by his divinity Susanoo. They say it's the first Japanese poem ever written. Quite surprising, isn't it? The cons are very simple. In the land of Izumo, covered by beautiful heavy clouds, I built a great fenced mansion to let my wife, Kushinada Hime, live a peaceful life in seclusion. So, it means he just built a house? Why bother with a poem about something like that? Hey, it's romantic, man. Well, it's because the first Japanese poem, the way he repeats the word yaegaki over and over really brings out his merry spirit at having finished that house, don't you think? Seems more foolish to me. Well, what about a shrine maiden calling what the gods do? What about a shrine maiden calling what the gods do foolish? Getting to the point, aside from the primary meaning of borders, Yukari Yakumo's name also has the hidden meaning of a strong fortress to keep the gods trapped inside. Now, if you substitute Shrine Maidens for the gods, it's obviously Gensokyo. Yukari will never let the Shrine Maidens escape from Gensokyo. Reimu became quiet. She probably had a lot to think about. Damn, she's trapped here as well, yeah? Not that she wants to leave, I guess, but she's trapped. Nice enough to sit in silence and drink sake, but you only get so much out of it. So I decided to renew the conversation on a different topic. I was speaking of that particular verse. You can see yet another side to it if you say it out loud. Yakumo Tatsu, how did it go again? I forgot. When Marisa said this, I recited it once more. Yeah. Isn't the sense of rhythm from the repetition of the word yaigari pleasant? And it goes well with the ya from the very first word Yakumo. Right. Yeah. It's almost too much. Yeah, I wonder why he wrote it that way. Of course, there's a meaning behind it, but the true meaning is. Nice. Of course, there's a meaning behind it, but the true meaning is hidden in another word. Wait, look, let me make sure to stay on live chat. I might be able to see your bonk messages. No, I can't. Oh, so good, man. Really? What would that be? Why the splendid night that always hides itself from the great Amaterasu? The wind had gotten rather cold as the ground that had dampened earlier that evening dried. It probably caused the wind to pick up. I sipped on my fuel. It didn't cool me down too much, but it did speedily give rise to a new line of thought. After all, if you look at the word the same all the time, you wouldn't get any ideas more profound than what's in the realm of common sense. Number 8 is actually very closely related to the night. Can't you read both characters as ya? Well, yeah, but you can do the same thing with yakiniku if you eat at night, but usually it's pronounced yoru. Isn't that all just a coincidence though? Oh, lovely. Let me have a look. Oh, wow. Why would YouTube bonk that? Bruv, that's crazy. Krim said, actually, I've been curious, how would you assess your Japanese skills, reading, speaking, vocabulary, etc.? Horrible, man, horrible. A lot worse than it was. I took Japanese in university, and I actually was in contact with, like, you know, Japanese pen pals, friends that I met on YouTube and everything. I used to game regularly with them. My Japanese conversation ability was quite strong. It was good, but in more recent times, I have not been able to do any of that, man. I can read hiragana, I can read katakana somewhat, I know some kanji, and I can kinda hold a conversation, very, very casual conversation. But yeah, just it's very light. It used to be a lot better, but now I've just been out of practice, man. But yeah. Alright. My think so was just the kanji for night and 8, but what's interesting is that those two words are almost the same in other languages too. Really? I don't know much about other languages. In English, it's 8 and night in Latin. So in in Latin it's octo and nocto. In German it's acht and nacht. And in a lot of other languages, 8 and night sound very similar. Oh, coincidences? Oh, okay. Yeah. Dash, like, I'm sure you know this, right? If anyone looked into studying languages, one of the best ways to study a language is to, like, immerse yourself in one. And one of the best ways to do that is, like, to either go to the country or, like, just really, if you can't, like, really consume as much. Surround yourself in that, right? Like, watch things in Japanese without subtitles, or, like, you know, remove the subtitles as quickly as you can. Read Japanese content, like, you know, whatever it is, light novels, newspapers. Just immerse yourself, right? Very difficult to do on your own. Very, very difficult to do. But yeah, that's why I kind of gave up, unfortunately. Maybe I'll come back to it once I get some more time in the future, but not now, not right now, sadly. Yeah, there you go, Theodore. Exactly like that. Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know about the country in the outside world. So why are words for 9 and 8 so similar? There are a few explanations, but unfortunately, no one has a definitive answer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, why are you bringing something up that you don't even get? Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you. That's a solid reason for it, bro. Yeah. No time. Jeremiah, cheeky bugger. That makes sense, man. Yeah. Well, why are you bringing something up that you don't even get? It's not that simple to begin with. The etymology is probably different for each language. Masa didn't seem satisfied with the answer, so I promise I'll look into it some more. Anyway, we can speculate about why that is in Japanese at least. The ya or 8 in words like yakumo, yaigari and yaorozu no kami doesn't literally mean the number 8, but a very large number of something. And I hope you'll notice that whenever it's used that way, it's always pronounced ya. Let's see, a great number of hills is Yasaka. When the cherry blossoms pile up, it's Yaezakura. The great 8-headed serpent, Yamato no Orochi. It really is pronounced, yeah, whenever it means many. All of these words are very old words that existed before we started to use kanji for writing. You don't say that you have 8 or something in modern Japanese if you want to say that you have a lot. It'd be a huge pain to have to make enough food for 8 people. Anyway, my point is that the only reason this word for many, ya, was written with the character for 8 is because 8 was a big number. 8 is a big number. Aren't there a lot of bigger numbers? In terms of singular digit, the only one is 9, I guess, isn't it? True that 9 is a large digit, but 8 and 9 are both big numbers. However, 9 read as Q is linked to the Q in AQ or eternity, so it's been linked to infinite for a long time. After all, there's a lot of something. There's still a finite amount, so it's obviously... Oh, that's pretty sick, actually. That's pretty sick. Obviously, less than infinity. That's why 8, the number 1 less than 9, was given the pronunciation ya, I believe. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. So you mean the character with 8 wasn't always read ya? When its connection to the night? What's its connection to the night then? Well, it's a word for night that was originally pronounced ya, not 8. Anything that was incredibly high in number was linked to the night. Fitting, right? And that's not all. The Japanese name for numbers hide many more secrets like this. I wonder why the word for a great number of things is the same as the word for the night. To answer that, all you need to do is gaze up at the sky on a moonlit night like this. It's obvious. Isn't it obvious why the word for night came to mean a great many? The clouds that had given us a sudden squall earlier in the evening are completely vanished. Stars, yeah? In the place of skies against Tokyo are filled with a countless number of stars. We were talking about stars as well last week, right? But getting my sake, I gazed up at the starry sky. The silvery river that flowed through the sky was more than enough to crush any reckless challengers who thought that they could count every star within it. In comparison, the sun floated high in the daytime sky without peer. It's only natural then that the great Amaterasu, that is, the sun, would be worshipped as the highest god. A countless number of stars twinkled in the sky. Their faint light made them seem like they had to hide themselves from the sun. All across the world, the night sky expressed how tiny humans must have felt in comparison to the sun, as well as the pain the yokai felt from it. Anyway, I think it'll be okay even if Yukari is planning something, so I guess I just have to train. Maybe so. It'll be good for you to get more power by training, and besides... No, I had to turn it down, actually. First world problems, man. Yep, anyway, I'd probably better go back to the shrine and figure out a new training schedule, but I'd wish that laundry again before that. I'd watch that laundry again before that if I were you. That stone probably did a number on it. Chores. Evening storms happen all the time during summer. Even if it's sunny all day, hanging your laundry out to dry and leaving your house like that is just careless, you know. Well, the laundry was already wet, so what's the harm in a little rain? Maybe you're right. No, that's not. If you don't take better care of them, your clothes will fall to pieces someday. I suppose with all your Danmaku battle, they're not fated to live long to begin with, but that means you should at least take proper care of them when doing laundry. It's important to value your possessions. Alright, I won't leave the shrine until they dry tomorrow. I bet they'll dry up in a flash under the summer sun. But if you fall asleep, it'll be just as bad as leaving. The number for 1 can be pronounced hito or hitotsu. When you count 1, 2, 3 as hifumi, 1 is hifumi. I will lie. 1 is he. Needless to say, that's the same he as the word for day. In other words, the sun. The Japanese calendar system starts out with the sun and goes on to the wind, hu, and the water, mizu. The sky, the earth, and connecting everything to the night. By counting to 9, the Japanese number system handles everything in nature. Even a single number has so many deep meanings to it, so needless to say, a name that incorporates numbers can easily hide very deep meanings. So it's not surprising someone like a strong yokai would do so. It's a huge mistake to think that numbers are merely words to measure quantity. That's what you think. You better look at the world around you a little harder. You might start seeing a great number of carefully hidden secrets. Respect, man, respect. Alright. Here we go. The memories of dice. influences probability and fate. The novelization for the popular Dojin Shoot 'em Up series now comes to an end. We're done. Yeah. Thank you for your long time patronage. The World of Touhou will continue in various media in the future. Look forward to the Corridor compilation book, a plan for release in the spring of 2008. Mechanism of Fortune. Assume you have a bro, this is the last chapter. This is the last chapter, man. What? 27 chapters. What a journey it has been, man. All right. Assume you have a die. If you were to roll on a death, no one would be able to predict what the result would be. Take the number that came out from that throw to be 1. Now, what will happen when the die is cast again? Of course, it usually isn't possible to know what will happen, but let's assume some certain conditions. These conditions are ones that match the initial condition of the dice. In other words, the initial states of position, angle, and force. What happens then? The dice will dance in the air, rotating as the first time, strike the desk at the same place, the same angle at the same time, and bounce identically, matching the exact same condition, maybe something that yokai can do, but it's more difficult for a human hand. In that case, you may make a device that could do such a thing. In doing so, the dice should once again fall on the same result. The meaning hidden behind this reality is that if everything in the world reaches a condition identical to one in the past, from then on, history will repeat itself. From that point in time, a pre-planned future will arrive. Furthermore, the condition at the end of that repetition must return to the point it is in currently. Perhaps the world has already gone through some untold number of loops. Oh, yes, correct. I forgot there's a part 2, yeah. Ring-a-ling. I was in the middle of my work when the door made a noise that indicated my usual businesses. It's work to confirm whether or not daily life is living. Love it, man. That task would be writing in my journal. I had begun writing 2 or 3 years ago and already had filled several books. I was recording my viewpoint of the structure of Gensokyo, and I frankly believe that one day it will become a history book. Maybe because yokai live much longer than humans, for they don't much try to record Gensokyo's history. I imagine it's because in this way they can always have an advantage over humans, and because they want to twist what little history remains to what will benefit them, humans can learn much from history, but the yokai have intentionally stolen this away from them. Correct. Oh, I'm excited, man. Okay. The yokai that live in the village are solely concerned with enjoying daily life, and the yokai that live in the mountains only record history for the sake of the other residents there. Humans don't have much time to put together any history. It's practically as if the history of Gensokyo has yet to begin. I am writing a journal for both human and yokai. I intend for it to become an unabridged history of a book of Gensokyo. It will be a breath of fresh air into the ordinary lives of both humans and yokai that live in Gensokyo. Man, that was a big haul today, wasn't it? I don't think we'll see something like that ever again. You're exaggerating. It's like that every time, around this time every year. Both Marissa and Rainbow entered the store brushing fallen leaves from their shoulders and hats. A few years ago, the phantom began increasing in size, increasing in numbers at the turn of the season. And then Rainbow and Marissa's phantom herding had become a yearly occurrence. I can faintly remember this infestation happening every year. I suppose history is repeating in this world after all. How did the phantom extermination go? Had their numbers decreased a little? We had a handful of them, the same as always. I wonder if I should come up with a countermeasure. There's more of them every year. They don't cause any real damage, then just leave them alone. But anyways, phantoms are cheerful beings, so maybe throwing a party or festival would gather them in one place. If you're talking about damage, then there is some. What would that be? You can't eat phantoms. I believe it was over 60 years ago, at the time when phantoms had increased in number, just like they are now. Gensokyo had since then given up changing and had built a peaceful life. Stable and resistant to change, trying to preserve the current status quo is called peace. Gensokyo today exists in a similar peace to those from 60 years ago. History is repeated over a 60-year cycle. In other words, everything in the future 60 years may be rather nostalgic. Don't you have any phantom traps in the shops and you just leave somewhere that will catch phantoms or something? Exactly. It's difficult to catch something that has nothing to catch onto, and they just slip through the boxes and things like that. Right, but I have to do something about them. If more keep showing up, this world might become like the next world. It'll be fine. The phantom will settle down after a while. The future is predetermined like that. Rainbow gave me a dubious expression. The vampires and yokai say the same thing you do. Phantoms will appear in public places, but they don't show up at my store often. To begin with, phantoms tend to gather easily where there is a lot of commotion. But because of a phantom's transient nature, where they may vanish at any point, so they gather at a lively place where it's easier for them to really feel their own existence. It is likely just as when they were human, preferring to be in the crowd to people. There's no way the future is predetermined. Some people's lives are supported just by luck, you know? Marissa said, looking at Reimu, well, rather than just by luck, it's intuition, and that intuition is an intuition with a proper foundation. Okay. Marissa's expression said that she didn't believe her. Whenever you play Chinchirorin at parties, you always call the face of the die to the point where there's no longer any competition. How can I say there's a foundation for that? Chinchirorin? The simple game played with dice, beasts and gambling, like the world of crime. Marissa, I believe the reason why Rainbow can guess the outcome of dice rolls must be because she can calculate in an instant the predetermined future. I told them my idea about the mechanism by which the outcome of dice was set. Perhaps after seeing the initial conditions, Rainbow can calculate the result of the dice by her intuition within this world. Good luck is that sort of thing. That's all I told Mr. Renoski. No matter how you slice it, you couldn't do that kind of calculation just by looking at the dice. Calculating, people only think with probabilities. Besides, even if they did calculate the result, the result won't go exactly as they thought. Why do you think so? Well, I suppose you couldn't do that. Wouldn't it still let you tell the future if you could? Rainbow looked shocked. Since it seems I have a deep understanding of fortune today, I'll be doing the lecturing on mechanism of probability. And while I'm at it, I'll also show that a future is not predetermined. After saying this, Rainbow brewed tea for the three of us and gladly served it. We look forward to hearing the reason behind the quality of Rainbow's intuition. I brought the tea to my lips for getting to cool it. Been there, done that. What you're saying is that even if the initial condition and the rights are the same, it's possible to get different results? Of course I am. Not the only thing deciding the outcome. Rainbow's tale wasn't a difficult one, but there was a shocking truth that contained therein. According to her, the world is made up of 3 layers. First is the physical layer that moves in accordance with the laws of physics, including all living things, objects. It is on this layer that an object falls towards the ground and that the water of the river flows. The second layer is one that moves with the spirit, which includes things such as magic and sorcery. The mental layer, one's mood turning sour when meeting an unpleasant person and releasing all your stress and cares during a party lie here. Since most yokai conceive of the world through these physical and mental layers, they ridiculously say that history repeats itself and future is predetermined. According to Reimu, there is a third layer that rejects loops. The third layer is the layer of memory, which is the recollection of events that lie within all things. Since it's only possible to add to add the memory to the memory layer, it's impossible to completely recreate the past. If something were to happen that already occurred in the past, then there would be a contradiction because that would imply memory was lost, which is impossible. The memory layer always continues to build up. Hello, Kenzo, thank you, will do, man. And I'll probably do so in my break before we go on to Twitch. Thank you. All right. The physical layer follows the laws of physics, the mental layer interprets the outcomes, and the memory layer alters the probability, mutually creating the future. Since it's impossible for memory to reach the same state as a point in the past, the future is not predetermined. So take a die rolling as a die rolling a 1 as an example. If you were to throw it again with the same initial condition as before, the die remembers the previous outcome. It won't necessarily be the same probability. I followed her explanation up to that point, but then Marissa asked, so how are you able to predict how the dice will fall? While I was entranced by Raymond's new illustration of the world, Marissa was unfazed. I didn't think she wanted to know just how to beat Raymond at Chinchirorin, but to use the idea to become as lucky as Raymond. I'm not pretending the fall of the dice at all. I'm not predicting the fall of the dice at all. The dice remembers the fact that I predicted how the dice would fall. According to this, by the lucky card called Raymond entering the memory of the die-based face, the result greatly skews in Raymond's favor. Apparently, the result side with Raymond. Hey, Gamer King, how's it going, man? Hello, Ninja, how's it going? What? How's that gonna help anyone but those who are already lucky? Marissa sulked. I doubt the existence of things such as fortune in this world, thinking it seemed like a lie. This is largely because of me thinking that the future was predetermined. I saw good luck charms as nothing more than lumps of sophistry. However, upon listening to Raymond's words, I reaffirmed the existence of fortune. The blessed man and the cursed man both exist, certainly. There's a man that succeeds in shouldering his trial. There's a man that is a failure, captive by jinxes as well. It might be certainly reckless. It might certainly be reckless to think each one as merely because of initial conditions. If we assume that probability is determined by the power of memory, it may be natural that probability can be manipulated by the creation of good luck charms. The more complicated and unusual the origins are, the more memories a charm will have, thereby raising its effectiveness. Raymond added to this, in this world, both objects and souls are made up of probability and are determined by the fortune which memories hold. Hearing those words, I remembered something. It is already common knowledge that everything in this world exists by probabilities. Something along the lines that was written in a science textbook from the outside world. I recall having only a vague comprehension of its meaning, and I didn't understand Ooh, what a track. Okay. Oh, fair enough, Grim. Yes. Who determined the outcome of those probabilities? But Rainbow had thought the same kind of thing, and even realized that its memories, which hold the right to determine those probabilities. It was surprising. Memory determines probability. In other words, you could say it's karma. That's pretty amazing. It may very well be true. By the way, how did you come across this knowledge? Your lifestyle appears so idle. I was about to add, but to preserve the current subject, I changed my mind. I heard it from a really, really smart human. Do we have it? Do we have UFO edited? I can't remember. It's been so long since we played it. Yeah. We don't. You did? I guess I haven't uploaded it yet. Okay. You know what? I don't know. I actually don't know. Krim, can you check out messages while I finish reading this? I'll upload it right now to the channel. As in, like, I'll keep it private, obviously, but yeah. Thank you, man. All right. Yeah, we'll get that done. I remember that. I think I remember talking about 12 and how we said we'd wait until the next gaming stream, right? I just don't know if it's on the channel yet. It might be on the channel. I haven't looked into it. Maybe like just unnamed. Right. The reason why I feel like history repeats itself to yokai purely because they aren't human. Found it? Lovely. If you could just send that back to me, or like yeah, beautiful. Ah, lovely. Okay. Let me pin that real quick. I'll look into that. Thank you. Okay. The reason why I feel that history repeats itself to yokai is purely because they aren't human. For human, the thread of memory vanishes only after a short while. So from the perspective of yokai, humans, from the time they are born until they die, seem to just repeat the same thing. Just like you, Mr. Renoski, Reimu said smugly. The situation is usually reversed. I was a bit frustrated. And this really, really smart human has the memories of all the books stored by her ancestors for generations. So she can see a world that neither humans with few memories nor yokai who have lived for a long time understand. Okay. Oh, right? Okay. I should have it on my computer. I should have it. Alright. Color of the window. Right. Perfect. Okay, I'll look into my PC as well. I should definitely have it. See, we've been talking for a long time. The color of the window had already changed to match the color of the evening. Thank you. The autumnal tint of the leaves outside had begun to permeate the room. Even though the sun had beginning to set, did you have any business for coming here today? Ah, that's right. We came here today for one reason. We chased out the phantoms. So from now on, we're having a party at the shrine. We came here to invite you. What do you say, Corin? I see. Is he finally going to attend? It took a while for it to come to this. They didn't announce why they were here, and we thoughtlessly ended up talking for longer than expected. I appreciate the thought, but I still have an important job to do. Besides, if you play Chinchirorin, I doubt I'll be able to be a match for Reimu. Job? You mean writing a book? Marissa said while pointing at my journal. That's true, but I also have to tend to my store as well. So you're still writing that thing, huh? Thought you would have given up on that by now. It's a journal, but someday it'll become a history book. I cannot stop so easily. It'll be a history book that enriches human knowledge, a product of Korindo. A number of years ago, I started writing this journal since paper had become an easily obtainable commodity, and I now have a considerable amount stored up. I plan on compiling it all into a book to pass down these records. If the book becomes the history book of Gentokyo, the Academia of Gentokyo will begin to move rapidly. This will bring Gentokyo closer to the outside world, and it will become a secure place in the future. At the same time, if it sells well, the shop will also be secure. And today I learned about the mechanism how reality can be determined from randomness, why there is a difference in the amount of fortune between people, and there are people who know this truth. Usually I was able to learn from Reimu. I should note that they're not records, but memory determine the future content in my book. And then if the memory of reading it acts as on the mechanism of fate of that person, I imagine the future will become something unpredictable. Humans will travel forward towards a future even yokai can't anticipate, and it would be good if yokai are able to enjoy the future the way humans do, not knowing what will happen tomorrow. It had become dark, completely dark outside. I wonder if Reimu and Marisa are holding a party at the shrine by now. We're the same people, as always, drinking sake, as always, with Reimu winning the bets, as always, and drinking too much, as always. However, this world is not repeating itself because Reimu, Marisa, the yokai, and myself, the half-human, half-yokai, remember these things. For these memories make every day more enjoyable, little by little. And there we have it. That is the end of Curiosities of Lotus Asia Part 1, man. And here we go. We'll just quickly read the afterword as well. Nice to meet you. Zun here. Suspended from several serial publications, changed into internet serialization, and now somehow continuing through the jump from publisher to publisher. The mysterious short story collection Curiosities of Lotus Asia has finally reached book format. Wow! Even Zun has admin issues like that, bruv, or publisher issues. Even includes a story I contributed to at Doujinshi. This is Korindo's first novel. I wrote this story to progress with the main plot of the games, but there may have been parts that were difficult to understand while it was being serialized. Even if it never crossed the reader's minds, I greatly enjoyed writing this story. While rereading Kola's first story, I noticed I set up a lot of ideas. I guess it's best for me to deal with the finer detail of the world through short stories. Yeah, man. Each story doesn't particularly feel like it's part of one big overarching plot, and the final chapter doesn't particularly have a feeling of closure. At the heart of Kola is how the humans of Gensoke handle their surroundings. It can even continue even now, just the same. It's written like it could continue at any time, and it seems like I would give. It seems like I would if given the chance. Damn, yeah. Especially now, we take a lot of things. We take the internet for granted, man, with how easy it is to distribute things, right? Imagine then, bro. Wow, man. The fact is that having a character who's bad at physical combat is annoying. Having a great number of characters in the same place is troublesome. It begins to be like making fun of argumentative people. It's hard to like that kind of story, but people can relate to a character like Renosuke, so writing stories become more enjoyable. This is because it's Renosuke's character not to think about other people. Exactly, man. Renosuke started writing a book in the 17th chapter, The Price of Paper in Luoyang. At the same time, talks about the standalone book were looking favorable and the first volume was planned. Those with keen sentiment, I picked up on hints of Renosuke's book being included with the first volume. However, just before it was released, the publisher went bankrupt, but ASCII made... Whoa! Yeah, how hectic it would have been, man. Exactly. I picked up the series and I was somehow able to continue on. But because of that, we were back to square one as far as the book went. This naturally delayed release quite a bit. Well, it was a miracle that I was able to continue the story anyway, so I was fairly certain that a book would happen sooner or later. By the way, Renosuke's supposed vast storage of knowledge comes almost entirely out of thin air. Indeed, he doesn't know nearly as much as he thinks he does. If you read closely, you'll notice a lot of wild meta ideas, but I think that's supposed to be the joke. Team Shanghai Alison, I get the feeling that there are a lot of brighter scenes in Kola for some reason. I love that, man. Yeah. Exactly, you wouldn't get it. I noticed that as well. I was like, bro, he seems very, I don't want to say pretentious, right? But very know-it-all kind of thing. And I was like, this is intentional because some of the writing alluded to that as well. Like, it was good. It was very nicely written. I love that. And Zuna acknowledges it here at the end too. Love that, man. But all right, guys, it looks like that will be it. That is the end of Curiosities of Lotus Asia. Part one. Thank you very much, Krim. Appreciate you big time. Thank you for requesting and funding this. Appreciate you like giving me the text as well so we could sort it out into this readable format. Let me know whenever you have the next part as well. I could, I'll get that one sorted too. I hope you guys enjoyed like how all the images were inserted as well, man. It was cool. Like I really liked how this was formatted. So thank you very much, Krim, for giving me the raw text for me to get this done. Right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it big time. That will be the end of the YouTube section, I believe, because we are now getting onto the songs. All right. Exactly, man. I love that. Lovely. All right, guys, I believe we just have songs left, so we will be going on to Twitch for that. Thank you very much. This is going to be Shabir from Velo City, and I will catch you over on Twitch. Let me drop that over here for you. All right. And, okay, BRB, everyone. BRB. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace. Ottobello. See you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.